Próxima sesión, el Sumiller de las Américas, un premio nada fácil de lograr. Joris García.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here again. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about wine competitions, wine school, my background, and what brought me to win the great competition of Best Sommelier of the Americas. All right. So this is me. What I'd like to tell is that I've worked for a long time in restaurant and still is on the floor. And to me, sommelier, why we do wine competition, yes, it's for us, but it's also for our guests. The more we know, the more we train, the better we taste. We can create, I think, better wine list, find great values, and be there for our guests. We can share.
Cuanta más formación tiene el sommelier, mejor servicio puede dar, más conoce de vino y mejor atención le puede dar al cliente.
Yes. Okay, so what brought me to wine? Some people have amazing stories about my grandfather made me try the really old wine and it changed my life and it was an amazing moment. That didn't happen to me. Wine was always part of the dinner at home, but my parents never really discussed about a vintage or a grape or a specific producer. They had the wines they liked, especially wines from Spain or from Rhone. But to me, the passion of wine came slowly throughout my experience on working in the restaurant. So the first restaurant I worked at, there was no wine, or if there was only one, it was to make sangria. Then a few years ago, I was a runner at the restaurant, and it was the first time there was a real wine list. And I remember we did some staff training, and then I saw 3 different glasses of red, and I was quite surprised because they all smelled and tasted different. I didn't know nothing about wine. I thought red was red and white was white, and it slowly sparked my curiosity. And then when I worked at a restaurant au Pied de Cochon, I was a runner. Oh, sorry.
Algunos profesionales tienen la suerte de haber vivido una experiencia en casa porque sus padres eran unos grandes entendidos del vino. En mi casa siempre ha habido vino durante la cena, pero mis padres compraban y consumían el vino que a ellos les gustaba. Nunca hubo conversación alrededor de la mesa sobre un tipo de uva, un tipo de denominación de origen. El momento clave llegó cuando empecé a trabajar en restaurantes. En ese momento descubrí que, aparte del vino blanco y el vino tinto, dentro de cada tipología había un gran mundo por descubrir.
Thank you. And I was working as a runner, the person that brings food to the table in restaurants. And I wanted to become a waiter. And for that, I thought it would be interesting to know a little bit about wine so I could have an idea what to tell the guest.
Trabajaba como camarero, pero quería crecer profesionalmente y entendí que para poder crecer en mi profesión tenía que entender sobre el mundo del vino.
And so I took a first class at l'ITHQ, which is a hospitality school in Montreal, while I was finishing my studies in human sciences. And it was with that first class that the passion really grew.
Estaba estudiando ciencias sociales y tomé mi primer curso. Fue realmente este curso el que hizo que la llama del amor por la cultura del vino se encendiera en mí.
Because I was always a good student, I would say, but a little lazy. But when I started to read about wine, to me it touches so many different subjects about history, geography, chemicals, also about the culture, architecture, different languages as well.
Siempre fui un buen alumno, aunque un poquito vago, pero fue cuando empecé a estudiar de vino que encontré mi pasión. Encontré un mundo de estudio que se desenvolvía alrededor de la historia, la cultura, la química, incluso la arquitectura.
And quickly, my wine studies and wine tastings became a more easy or cheap way to travel.
Además, otra de mis pasiones siempre fue viajar y este mundo me abría las puertas a nuevas oportunidades.
Because, you know, when I start to study, let's say, Spanish wines, then you look at the map, you learn about history, you learn about the culture, you also learn about what food goes well with that type of wine. So just with a glass of wine in my book, it was a whole world that opened to me.
Cuando empiezas a estudiar, digamos, por ejemplo, los vinos españoles, no solo aprendes sobre el vino, empiezas a estudiar la historia, la cultura, la geografía, y esa copa de vino en mi libro de texto me abría el mundo ante mis ojos.
All right. So in wine competitions or just sommelier in general, there are many of us that have a sport background. I don't know why, but it's something that I quickly came to realize. So growing up, there was a lot of sport around me. My brother is a runner, but he swam a lot, played football, and I followed him always. And I was always quite competitive, never a bad loser, I would say, but always wanted to push myself.
En el mundo de las competiciones del vino, coincidentemente, resulta que todos tenemos un pasado relacionado con los deportes. No sé realmente la razón. Mi hermano mayor es un corredor, también nadador, y yo siempre he seguido su estela.
And yes, I played a lot of basketball growing up, but I knew that I wouldn't make the NBA quite early because some of my friends, when I was 15, 16, already moved to the US with some scholarship, and I was not. So the transition between basketball and wine was almost simultaneously.
Me gustaba jugar al baloncesto, pero entendí que nunca iba a llegar a la NBA porque algunos de mis compañeros ya estaban recibiendo becas para jugar en los Estados Unidos y yo no. Así que la transición entre el baloncesto y el vino fue bastante simultánea.
And so, yes, the competition quickly became a way to push myself.
Las competiciones de vino enseguida reemplazaron a la competitividad en el deporte.
So, I'm going to take a minute because sometimes it's a little confusing because there are different schools, different diplomas, different competitions. And to me, they are all different paths, but we all go towards the same goal, is to be able to understand the world of wine better and to have the tools to keep on learning.
Me gustaría tomarme un momento para explicar que hay varias escuelas de vino, varios tipos de cursos y de formación, pero que al final todos se dirigen hacia el mismo lugar, que es comprender la cultura del vino.
So first we have Association de la Sommellerie Internationale that I believe was created in the late 1960s. Started with only a few countries and now there's more than 75, I believe.
En primer lugar, tenemos la Asociación de Sommeliers Internacionales, que empezó alrededor de los años 60 con muy poquitas personas, pero ahora es una de las principales.
And they are the one organizing the competitions like Best Sommelier of the Americas, Best Sommelier of Europa, Best Sommelier of the World.
Son ellos los que organizan la competición del sommelier de las Américas, el sommelier de Europa, el sommelier mundial.
Then there is at the left the Court of Master Sommelier. So the Court of Master Sommelier was created in London and then a chapter in the US opened. And this is an amazing diploma that is maybe more built towards sommelier working on the floor in a restaurant.
Tenemos también la Corte de Maestros Sommeliers, que fue creada en Londres. Es una gran institución, pero quizá está más orientada a el sommelier que quiere trabajar en sala de restaurante.
And last year there was the first Spanish Master Sommelier, so congratulations to him. And then we have the WSET, which is a great program on 4 levels. This is more academic, I would say, less about working on the floor, but more about understanding the whole world of wine from the agriculture all the way to the marketing at the end.
Tenemos también la WSET, que es un estupendo programa, pero que está más enfocado al mundo académico. Su objetivo es que los alumnos comprendan desde la agricultura hasta el trabajo en restaurante.
And the next step, once you're done with the WSET, might be the Master of Wine, which is I would say the same, but way harder, way deeper. And so Master Sommelier is something, Master of Wine is another thing, and the competition is also another thing.
Todos los programas son de mucha calidad, pero son pasos a seguir hasta llegar al final.
All right, so what is a sommelier competition? We always think that it's all about blind tasting. It's a part of it, but only a small part, actually.
¿Qué es una competición de sommeliers? Todos pensamos que es una cata a ciegas, ese es un primer paso importante, pero hay mucho más detrás de estos concursos.
So first, I would say the first step is theory, because in every competition, we start the day with exams, like in school.
Los concursos empiezan su día siempre como un examen, tal y como en el colegio.
And we can have questions about every single thing that touches the world of beverages, because it's not only wine. We can have questions about beer, about sake, about coffee, about food, about the latest news. We can have questions about specific details, like what is the percentage of grape allowed in this DO, for instance, all the way to what are the ingredients for that cocktail.
Podemos recibir preguntas de muchísimo tipo, no solo específicas sobre el vino. Por ejemplo, podemos recibir preguntas sobre qué porcentaje de uva lleva un vino, pero también cuáles son los ingredientes de tal cóctel.
Then the tasting, which is to me the part that I prefer to train. Tasting, it can be different things. It can be written, it can be oral, the full description. We can also, sometimes we just need to identify the beverages, and it goes far away. Same thing for theory. We can have sake, beer, scotch, whiskey, rum, and now they even added the non-alcoholic beverages.
Después de la teoría llega la parte de la cata en el concurso, que es mi parte favorita. No solo catamos vino, sino que es posible que nos pidan que catemos cerveza o sake.
And then the service. Service is quite unique. It's one of the favorite part of my everyday job. But to do it in a competition is quite odd, because we're in a fake restaurant with fake guests. There's no music, nobody's talking, there's no food, and we have to act normal.
Después está la parte del servicio, que es una parte con la que estoy muy familiarizado en mi día a día profesional, pero en las competiciones se resulta extraño porque es una sala con clientes falsos, no hay música, no hay conversación real entre ellos.
And so everybody looks at you. You have amazing judges taking notes, looking at every step, and they ask us simple thing like make a cocktail, decant a bottle of wine, open a bottle of champagne. But when all eyes are on you with the cameras, the microphone and everything, it can get quite stressful.
Es bastante intimidante y estresante porque aunque estás haciendo lo que sabes hacer, te piden cosas sencillas como decantar una botella de vino, explicar los ingredientes de un cóctel, abrir una botella de champán. Todos los jueces del concurso tienen sus ojos puestos en ti y esto resulta bastante estresante.
And so for somebody that would like to do competition or anybody preparing for a certification, where to start? The world of wine is so big and so wide. First thing I would do is set a calendar, day by day, week by week, month by month, and try to cover everything you need to cover.
Para todos aquellos que quieran empezar a prepararse para un concurso de sommelier, ¿por dónde podemos empezar? Recomiendo establecer un calendario con tareas diarias, dónde estoy y a dónde quiero llegar.
And then I think the part that takes the most of the time is theory, because it's never ending. So what I recommend is to focus on, to select the sources and then go deep with those sources.
La parte que más tiempo consume es la parte de la teoría, porque la teoría alrededor del mundo del vino es infinita. Mi recomendación es identificar muy bien fuentes de conocimiento fiables y empezar por ahí.
And it's important to keep our notes up to date because the world of wine keeps evolving. So some things that were true last year or 5 years ago might change. For instance, Jerez has just allowed new grapes. We're not forced to add alcohol for the finos and manzanillas. So we have to keep on relearning.
Es fundamental estar constantemente actualizados porque la cultura del vino y el negocio del vino va variando casi diariamente. Por ejemplo, hace muy poco que la denominación de origen de Jerez ha dado entrada a uvas nuevas y tenemos que ser conscientes de ello.
And so, patience, trust the process, and discipline and sacrifice. So why I say patience? Before, in Quebec or in Canada, before I was being able to be part of the Best Sommelier of Canada, I have to win Best Sommelier of Quebec. And this took me about 10 or 11 years because the competition is every 3 years.
Hay que trabajar la paciencia porque antes de convertirme en uno de los mejores sommeliers de Canadá, primero tuve que competir para ser uno de los mejores sommeliers de Quebec y este concurso solo se convoca cada 3 años.
And so the first time I did it, I didn't make the final. Then the second time I was third with the best tasting mark. Then the third time I was second with the best tasting mark. And finally I was able to win. And you know, you have time in 10 years to rethink about, is it really a good idea to do that?
La primera vez que me presenté no llegué a las finales, la siguiente edición quedé tercero en cata, la siguiente edición quedé segundo en cata hasta que conseguí ganar. Pero son 10 años de trabajo en los que te da tiempo a preguntarte y a plantearte si esto realmente merece la pena.
And every time what I felt great is that I had a good day, it was fun, I met great people, and also I got to another level. And this is, I think, why we have to trust the process. Even though we don't have the results right away, we keep on evolving. And I had the chance to speak with many Master of Wine or Master Sommelier or Best Sommelier of the world. And even them, they don't know everything, so we can always learn.
Tenemos que confiar en el proceso. Ha sido un proceso en el que me he divertido mucho, he aprendido mucho y he descubierto que ni siquiera los mejores Masters of Wine del mundo lo saben todo. Todos aprendemos de manera constante.
And so we often talk about discipline and sacrifice. To me, the discipline is the only way that we can really reach a goal, because everything takes time. If we can put 1 hour a day or even 30 minutes on many different subjects or discipline, then weeks, months, years come by and we can really reach a higher level.
Debemos hablar de la palabra disciplina y del sacrificio. Consiste en utilizar 1 hora al día para cada asignatura o para cada área de conocimiento, pero se tiene que multiplicar a lo largo del tiempo, meses, años.
And sometimes it's not always easy. I watched an interview of Cristiano Ronaldo, also interviews about Kobe Bryant, a player that I really love. And even they say, well, I don't want to go to the gym every day. I don't want to go and shoot every day, but they still go. And I think this is why they are the best.
He visto muchas entrevistas, por ejemplo, con Cristiano Ronaldo o Kobe Bryant, y mismamente ellos dicen que no les apetece entrenar todos los días o no todos los días les apetece tirar la canasta, pero lo hacen y por eso son los mejores.
But it's true that it comes with some sacrifices because it's a lot of time. It's time that you're not with the family, times that you're not with friends, or if you have time for kids and family, then it's your sleep that you sacrifice.
Pero por supuesto esto implica un sacrificio, es un tiempo que no puedes dedicar a tu familia, a tus amigos, y si ese tiempo que te sobra se lo dedicas a tu familia, a tus amigos, lo que haces es no dormir.
But it's my passion, so I'm always excited to open a book, always excited to go to a wine fair or to meet a producer. I would say the biggest sacrifice, it's just the time, not the work itself.
Pero es mi pasión y siempre he estado encantado de abrir un libro de vino o acudir a una feria de vino. El trabajo, cuando se convierte en pasión, no es trabajo, el sacrificio es más por el tiempo.
All right, so study tools. There's many sources, okay? Internet is an amazing tool, but we can't trust everything that we see on the web. So I highlighted a few of my tools that I use, and many of us in the wine world use. And so I highly recommend, first of all, specific books on specific subjects. Then we have the websites. If I want to learn about, let's say, wines of Rioja, first thing I'm going to do is to go on the website of Wines of Rioja, because they're going to put what they want the consumer and the professional to know there.
Para empezar a estudiar la materia hay muchísimas herramientas. No podemos fiarnos 100% de Internet, pero voy a recomendar algunas de mis herramientas de confianza. Para empezar, libros sobre la materia, pero también sitios de Internet, las webs profesionales. Por ejemplo, si quisiera empezar a estudiar sobre la denominación de origen Rioja, lo primero que haría sería acudir a su web, ya que ahí voy a encontrar información fiable y además la información que la denominación de origen quiere transmitir a su cliente potencial.
And so I highly recommend every interprofessional to put a lot of energy there, because the more we know, the better we can speak to the guest and the better we can sell the wines.
Recomiendo Interprofessions porque cuanto más estemos ahí, mejor argumento vamos a tener para hablar con el cliente.
Then books of Jancis Robinson are amazing, also Jamie Good. If there's one website that I highly recommend for wine studies, it's Gilsum. And why I recommend it is that books are great, but they are quickly out of date. And so Gilsum is a beautiful organization, and the information is always fresh.
Los libros de Jancis Robinson los recomiendo encarecidamente, pero también iría a la web de Gilsum sobre los libros. ¿Por qué? Porque los libros se quedan fuera de onda muy rápido, mientras que las webs están actualizadas de manera constante.
Then, of course, magazines are great. Master classes like we had in the past 3 days are really, really important. But then to me, the best way to really put everything we learn in context is to visit the wine regions and meet the producers.
Por supuesto, las revistas o las masterclasses son estupendas, pero lo que más recomiendo para tener el contexto global es visitar las regiones vitivinícolas.
And like I said at the start, I was always a good student, but was a little bit lazy. But those competitions pushed me to really become, I hope, a really good student. And we all have to learn our different techniques and what works for us.
Como dije al principio, siempre he sido un buen estudiante, aunque un poquito vago, pero las competiciones de vino me han enseñado a elaborar mi propia técnica de estudio.
And for every examination or exams, even if it's not about wine, we have to learn about what works for us. Some people, it's going to be to have lots of audio notes. I have friends that record themselves to study while they go to work. Others are going to use flashcards. Others are going to make some text with different colors, like green for soils, yellow for vintages, whatsoever. But we really have to find what works for us.
Para prepararnos para cualquier examen, aunque no sea un examen sobre el mundo del vino, tenemos que descubrir cuál es la técnica de estudio que funciona para cada uno. Algunos de mis colegas se graban su propia voz y se la ponen mientras van a trabajar, otros utilizan flashcards, resumen con colores. Tenemos que encontrar la técnica que funciona para cada uno.
And there are also many books about different ways to study, so I highly recommend to go through those.
Hay muchos libros escritos sobre la técnica de estudio y recomiendo encarecidamente que acudan a ellos.
Oops, perdón. So how to deal with stress? I think everybody that does competition, or even musicians when they go on stage, or me today that's doing a presentation, we are always, I think, slightly nervous because we do something that is out of our comfort zone.
¿Cómo aplacar el estrés? Todos, incluso los músicos que se suben a un escenario, o yo mismo hoy que tengo que dar esta presentación, tenemos un momento de estrés porque estamos fuera de nuestra zona de confort.
For instance, when I was playing basketball in high school, we were in the top teams of Quebec, and we finished second. We won every single game of the year, and we lost in the finals. That was a little hard. And I remember a moment when, I could have maybe tried to keep the ball at the end, try to score everything, but I was really happy to pass the ball to one of my friends, so he takes the last shot.
Cuando jugaba al básquet en el instituto, llegamos a las finales de Quebec, ganamos todos los partidos de la liga, pero perdimos el partido de la final. Hubiera podido tener uno de los últimos tiros, un tiro ganador, pero fui muy feliz de pasar la pelota a mi compañero.
But when we do sommelier competition, we are alone, so you can't pass the ball to anybody. So it was a lot of work for me to work on that stress.
Pero cuando estás tú solo en una competición de vino, no puedes pasarle la pelota a tu compañero. Así que hay que aprender a gestionar ese estrés.
So here on the left, it's me training at the SAQ with Julie Perrault, an amazing lady. And in that circumstance, it has beautiful light, there's no noise, I'm alone. It is quite easy, and usually I taste quite well in those conditions.
En la fotografía de la izquierda estoy catando un Jules Perrault en una sala maravillosa, con una luz adecuada, sin ruido, y es bastante fácil catar en ese ambiente.
And then on the right, it's me on the stage in Santa Rosa in California for Best Sommelier of the Americas with Véronique Rivet, second best sommelier of the world, Paz Livingston, also amazing sommelier that was best sommelier of the Americas and I believe fourth or fifth, Andreas Larsson, best sommelier of the world, Serge Dubs, so a lot of pressure.
Pero en la foto de la derecha estoy catando en Santa Rosa, California, rodeado en el escenario de algunos de los nombres más importantes del mundo de los sommeliers. Fue muchísima presión.
And so for in the last maybe 3 years, I started to see a coach, not an official psychologo, but really a coach that helps people to do some auditions, to do theaters, because he's a pianist, and he realized that sometimes people were so good during practice, but when came the big day, everything fell down.
Así que desde los últimos 3 años he decidido tratarme con un coach. No es un psicólogo oficial, pero es una persona que trata, por ejemplo, a pianistas, ya que detectó que durante los ensayos hacían la práctica perfecta, pero en el momento del directo se venían abajo.
And so he gave me many tools, and it worked for me, but maybe somebody else would have different tools. Of course, there's breathing, that we often think somebody has different numbers, this and that, but you have to find a way to calm yourself. It is so important. And one of the first things we did in the session, he asked me, why do you do competitions? And it took me maybe a week to understand and to be able to answer him.
Este sistema funciona para mí, quizá no funcione para todo el mundo, a mí me está ayudando mucho. Una de las primeras preguntas que me hizo fue ¿por qué decidiste participar en concursos? Y me llevó casi una semana darle la respuesta.
Because I've already been competing for 10 years and I never really asked myself what I was doing. But then after a week of reflection, I was like, well, because I like wine, because it's fun, because I like to push myself.
Llevaba ya casi 10 años compitiendo en competiciones de vino y nunca me había hecho esa pregunta, así que tuve que reflexionar y la respuesta que me di a mí mismo es que me gustaba el vino y me gustaba probarme a mí mismo.
And he also gave me some tools to do a visualization. So I imagined myself tasting on the stage, I imagined myself doing the decanting, and it helped me a lot because then once I was on the stage, even though I was quite nervous, it seemed a little more familiar.
Me dio algunas herramientas, como por ejemplo imaginarme, visualizarme a mí mismo sobre el escenario, catando el vino, decantando el vino, y me ayudó a no ponerme nervioso en el directo porque me daba la sensación de que eso ya lo había vivido y era familiar.
And to me, what helped me the most, this was maybe one of the most important days in my wine career. But before, at every step of the competition, I kept thinking to myself, well, first of all, it's just a competition. I'm not a doctor doing heart surgery, so if I do a mistake, it's not that bad. Also, I kept reminding myself that my little baby that was 1 year old, if I win or lose, he doesn't mind much. My boss that I really like, they won't fire me if I don't win the competition. Hopefully my wife won't leave me if I don't win the competition. So I think we have to keep everything in mind, look at the grand scheme of things, and realize that, it's not a life or death situation.
Algo que me ayudó mucho fue comprender que solo era una competición, no era un cirujano operando a corazón abierto. Mi bebé, que en aquel momento tenía 1 año, no se iba a enterar de si ganaba o perdía. Mi jefe, al cual aprecio mucho, no me iba a despedir si el resultado no era óptimo. Mi mujer, afortunadamente, no me iba a abandonar si no ganaba el concurso.
So sometimes we put a lot of pressure on us, but I think realizing that we are lucky to be part of the wine world, lucky to be on the stage, showing our colleagues and mentors and heroes all the work we've done, and just yes, feeling blessed that we're in this beautiful situation and lucky to do it.
Muchas veces nos echamos demasiada presión por encima y lo que tenemos que hacer es disfrutar de poder enseñar nuestro trabajo y nuestro talento a nuestros maestros, a nuestros héroes, a nuestros mentores y sentirnos bendecidos por poder hacer este trabajo cada día.
Because we have to remind ourselves that not everybody has the opportunity to work in wine, to travel, to compete. So just to be part of this beautiful world is a blessing.
Debemos de recordarnos a nosotros mismos que no todo el mundo tiene la posibilidad de trabajar en vino día a día y que ser parte de este mundo es algo muy bonito.
And one thing I remember that was a little special, but it helped me a lot, is just before going to the semi-finals. So one of the most stressful things in competition is the wait. We go in a room with no phones, with all the other candidates, and then we might wait 1 hour, 2 hours before doing a simple task. And during that time, you can really see like the whole stress in the room going up.
Una de las cosas más estresantes durante los concursos es la espera. En este caso, no te meten en una habitación junto al resto de los competidores y tienes que esperar alrededor de 1 hora para hacer una cata muy simple y puedes palpar cómo el estrés se va elevando en la habitación.
And so for a good 10 minutes, I looked a little bit crazy, but I was in the corner of the room, imagining myself holding my baby, imaginary baby because he was at home, but that set me in the good mood. It's just to show that the power of the mind, that if you do some visualization, think about positive things, it can really help us to calm down.
Así que durante casi 10 minutos parecía un absoluto tarado porque me retiré a una esquina y me imaginaba a mí mismo abrazando a mi bebé, que estaba en mi casa, pero eso me ayudó a que mi mente estuviera en un lugar feliz y confiado.
So yes, it was a closed room. I don't know if I would do it in front of the public, but it helped me a lot.
Era una habitación cerrada, no sé si me atrevería a haberlo hecho delante del público, pero me ayudó mucho.
Here, it's a picture of Marc Guillaudot, master sommelier at 11 Madison Park, one of the best restaurants in the world. I show this picture because the competition started with making a Bellini, which is a classic cocktails, and it was so stressful to me.
En la foto tenemos al sommelier de uno de los mejores restaurantes del mundo y la he traído porque aquella competición comenzó con la elaboración de un Bellini, uno de los cócteles clásicos, y fue muy estresante.
Because it was the first task that was asked to us, so we have lots of nerves. Then I went to the station. It was a little dark. I was looking for the fruit puree. I couldn't find it. Went back to the table, said, it's not there. They told me, like, you should look again. And for a good 30 seconds, I was a little lost. I saw black points. Yeah.
El estrés casi pudo conmigo, llegué a mi estación de elaboración, no era capaz de encontrar el puré de melocotón, me faltaban elementos, durante 30 segundos solo veía puntos negros en mis ojos, pero me controlé.
And so it took me a while to find my rhythm, and I did a little mistake. Véronique Rivet said, well, the champagne is opened, so you should make the Bellini with it. And me, I didn't understand well the questions because of the nerves. I opened the Prosecco because it's the classic way to do it. So I knew I made the mistake.
Cometí algún error porque los organizadores querían que lo hiciéramos con champán, que ya estaba abierto, pero yo me lancé a abrir la botella de Prosecco, que es la receta clásica del Bellini.
And something that I learned throughout my experiences is that if you do a mistake, yes, it's bad, it's wrong, but we have to continue. And same thing on the dining floor. If we do a mistake at one table, we have to avoid bringing that same energy to the other table. And we have like we need to forget, put it in our mind, yes, I did a mistake over there, but we need to continue because there are so many points that we can get in the rest of the competition.
Algo que he aprendido en las competiciones es no dejar que un error me arrastre. Además, esto lo he exportado a mi experiencia en la sala del restaurante, y es que si cometes un error en una mesa, no debes de dejar que esa mala energía se transmita al resto de mesas, igual que en un concurso. Si cometes un error, no debes darte por vencido porque aún puedes ganar muchos puntos.
And about points, we never see the grid. We never know exactly what the judges are noting. But on the website of ASI or in probably other competitions like Mejor Sommelier de España, I'm sure there is a grid of things we need to do. And there's points everywhere. If we take a look, if the glasses are clean, if we wipe the bottle before serving it, points are really everywhere.
Realmente no conocemos qué puntos nos dan los jueces en el Master of Wine, pero sí que en otras competiciones está muy bien definido a qué corresponde cada puntuación. Una de las cosas que, por ejemplo, pueden examinarnos es si comprobamos que las copas estén limpias antes de catar.
And for me, what made the big difference during the competition is that I'm not the best in theory. I'm not maybe the best in surveys. I might not be the best in tasting neither, but I think I am good overall. And sometimes during the finals, it's not necessarily the best that win, but the person that makes the less mistakes.
Algo que marca la diferencia en mí es que probablemente no soy el mejor en teoría, no soy el mejor catador, ni siquiera soy el mejor en el servicio, pero soy bastante bueno en las tres áreas. Muchas veces las competiciones de vino no premian al mejor en todas las categorías, sino al que comete menos errores.
But on this day, I was in really good shape, and so I made a lot of points everywhere. And blind tasting, sometimes it's really, 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 really hard. We are wrong most of the time. But on the D day, I always perform quite well.
Este día estaba en plena forma, las catas a ciegas pueden ser muy problemáticas, se cometen muchos errores de manera habitual, pero en esta ocasión marqué todos los puntos que había que marcar.
And also when we practice tasting, we have to focus on classics, and the judges did an amazing job to put some classics in front of us, because what would be the point to give us a really curveball like I don't know, a grape that only one producer makes in a country that is not really present on the world market?
Los jueces hicieron un gran trabajo haciéndonos catar vinos muy clásicos, porque realmente ¿qué sentido tendría que los jueces nos hicieran catar a ciegas el vino de una uva que solo produce un productor en una región del mundo muy concreta y que no aparece jamás en los menús de vino de los restaurantes?
And so this is why I recommend also when we practice for competitions to keep the mind open for everything that's going on. But before going to practice a really rare grape, make sure you don't confuse Cabernet Sauvignon and Tempranillo, for instance.
Por eso mi recomendación es tener siempre la mente abierta a las nuevas uvas, pero antes de lanzarnos a ser capaces de identificar una uva tremendamente peculiar, debemos estar seguros que somos capaces de identificar o distinguir el Cabernet Sauvignon de un Tempranillo.
And here on the right, it's Nicolas Reines from Colombia, and Marc to the left. And so it was great. I didn't see them, but then I watched the final, and it was great to see all the different styles we've had, because during those finals, our competitions really shows, and it was awesome to be able to look at both of them after.
Acompañado de mis colegas en el concurso, fue muy interesante porque pude ser capaz de ver y compartir técnicas diferentes y aproximaciones diferentes.
Oh, perdón. And so, next up, Lisboa. So I'm not done with studies, not done with competition and certifications neither. I tried for the 4th time already the Master Sommelier examination. Didn't pass, but the 5th time is gonna be the best, just to show that we have to keep on trying, learning, pushing ourselves. The Master Sommelier is a long journey, and I'm also finishing the diploma. So I keep on learning, and this is what fascinates the most, the most fascinating to me in the world of wine.
No he terminado de estudiar, ni mucho menos. Me he presentado varias veces al título de Master Sommelier. He fallado por 4 ocasiones, pero la 5ª va la vencida. Y estudiar y siempre estar actualizándonos y continuar aprendiendo es lo que hace fascinante esta profesión.
And so I was really, really proud because I finally passed Best Sommelier of Quebec, then a few months after, Best Sommelier of Canada, and then a year after, Best Sommelier of the Americas. But now the biggest challenge, I believe, in my life and for all the other 65 candidates will be the competition of Best Sommelier of the World in October.
Estoy feliz porque conseguí el título de Best Sommelier de Quebec, después el Best Sommelier de Canadá y después el Best Sommelier de las Américas, pero creo que mi mayor reto hasta el momento y el mayor reto de los otros 65 candidatos será el reto de Lisboa 2026.
Like I said, we're going to be about 65 candidates and one best from each country, so the level is really, really, really high, and it's going to be beautiful to meet all of those people around the world because, for instance, I don't see often the sommelier from Spain or from China or from India, so it's going to be a great experience to challenge ourselves, but especially make good connections.
Es una oportunidad para retarnos a nosotros mismos y además será muy bonito compartir con mis colegas. No siempre tengo la oportunidad de pasar tiempo con el mejor sommelier de España o de China y aprender de ellos.
And all I presented about study tools, about making the calendar, about training, about seeing a coach, well, I'm doing it right now. And hopefully I'm going to have a good results. But just going there, it was a dream of mine that I had almost 12 years ago. So like I said at the beginning, we just have to go little by little, day by day, and we can achieve great goals.
No sé lo que va a pasar, pero simplemente estar presente en Lisboa en 2026 es un sueño que tengo desde hace más de 12 años. Y como dije al principio, lo importante es ir cubriendo cada paso y luchando cada paso para acercarnos a nuestro objetivo.
And I put the little few websites that I wish that you can go to learn. You know, if you want to keep up to date on the different competitions, the website from ASI, WSET, Court of Masters, Sommelier, and Guildsom are great resources for everybody in the wine world. You know, on Guildsom there are some winemakers, there are some people working in the trade, people working on the floor, so it's quite wide.
Les ofrezco algunas de las páginas web más interesantes y más recomendadas por mí para estar al día tanto del mundo del vino, del mercado del vino, como de los concursos del vino.
And if anybody want to reach out to me, if they have any questions, how to prepare better, any guidance I can provide, please feel free to reach out.
Si alguien quiere ponerse en contacto conmigo, estaré encantado de contestar sus preguntas.
And best way it's on Instagram. And I wanted to know if anybody had some questions.
¿Quizá alguien tiene alguna pregunta?
Liz.
Una pregunta, puedo hacerlo en inglés, pero la voy a hacer en español para que se lo traduzcas y así me entiendan, ¿vale? En los concursos de catas a ciegas, para poner un ejemplo, el que gana de 10 vinos, ¿cuántos vinos ha acertado, aunque sea la variedad de uva?
So,
Did you understand that?
entiendo casi todo, pero si puedes repetir.
So, in a contest,
Yes.
in a blind tasting,
Yes.
the winner that said he got 10 wines to taste,
Yes.
how many of the 10s he got right?
So It always, and first of all, gracias por tu pregunta. It always depends. Depends on the day of the competition. On that, for the best sommelier of the Americas, we had 10 beverages to identify. We had also 1 sweet wine, and we had 2 white wines to identify, only for the final. I believe, well, the sweet wines, we had it. It was, I believe, Sauternes 2013, and I think I said Sauternes 2014, so I was off for just 1 year. Then we had 2 wines. I believe it was 2 Chardonnay, 1 from Burgundy, maybe 1 from California. I have to look at it. I thought it was both Chardonnay, but I only had one of the 2 countries. And then for the 10 beverages, I think I had maybe 6 out of 10, something like that. But then it's all about the points. Somebody could have the 10 right and win. Somebody can have only 4 out of 10 and win. It always depends because the judges, they're going to evaluate all the different tasks of the finals. But of course, if you have 10 out of 10, it's the best. But it always depends. For instance, in the Court of Master Sommelier, it's 6 wines, okay? And you have to nail exactly, or pretty much exactly, at least 5 out of the 6 wines. And then in the Master of Wine, it's longer tastings, at least, I believe, 12 or 24 wines in sets of 3. And in the Master of Wine, if I'm right, it's not only about finding exactly the grape, but understanding everything that was involved in winemaking, in the agriculture, maybe towards what market it is. So in different sets of competitions, the goals are slightly different. Sorry, it was a little...
Depende, en primer lugar, del estado de forma del catador ese día, pero además los distintos concursos tienen distintas maneras de puntuar en la cata a ciegas. Algunos les es suficiente, el ganador puede tener un acierto de 4 vinos sobre 6, en otros hay que acertar más, depende de la reglamentación de cada concurso.
But it's amazing to see sometimes what candidates can achieve in those high pressure moments. We have a little bit of adrenaline, and usually it's quite good for blind tasting.
Son momentos bastante estresantes para los catadores y esa adrenalina nos puede hacer tomar muy buenas decisiones.
And yeah, like I said, tasting is my favorite part because it's the world of senses. It is, to me, more fun to try a wine than to learn by heart different wine laws. But if I'm a good taster now, it's because, yes, I tasted a lot, but I have a great theory knowledge. For instance, if I smell American oak in a wine, American oak usually is slightly more on the coconut, dill, and those are my markers, slightly more coconut and dill aromas than, let's say, French barrique that are slightly more towards vanilla, let's say.
La cata a ciegas es probablemente mi parte favorita porque hablamos del mundo de los sentidos, pero si ahora soy un buen catador es porque he trabajado mucho la parte teórica.
And so, if you can identify the American oak, then usually what country uses a lot of American oak? Every country, they use a different sets of barrels and containers, but in a classic way. The US uses a lot of American oak. Australia, especially with the 300-liter hogshead, they use a lot of American oak. And then Spain is also classically a producer that uses a lot of it.
Si eres capaz de identificar en la cata el roble americano, ya puedes definir un poco de dónde viene el vino, ya que qué países suelen utilizar el roble americano.
So, yes, there is intuition, but the theory is a big part of it because by identifying the American oak, I reduce the world in about 3 different countries. Then, of course, there's some American oak in France. I've seen it everywhere in the world, but classically, you know, I can identify those 3 countries, and then you go by elimination.
Por supuesto que la intuición es importante en una cata a ciegas, pero conocer la teoría te ayuda a definir un área geográfica. Por ejemplo, con el ejemplo del roble americano, puedo identificar 3 países, Estados Unidos, Canadá y Australia, incluso España, que suelen utilizar en sus vinos más clásicos el roble americano. También Francia la usa, pero de manera menos habitual. Así que puedo empezar a trabajar con el descarte.
And to me, this is how I became a good taster. Yes, sometimes I smell the wine, oh yes, it's that. But usually it takes me a little bit of theory to get through it. For instance, let's say I smell, pepper in a wine. Classically, Syrah has lots of pepper. There are many of other grapes that has a really peppery side, like Mondeuse. I've tried some Listan Prieto yesterday that is quite peppery, but I will really think mostly of Syrah or maybe other wines from the Rhône when I smell black pepper.
Digamos que si detecto pimienta negra en un vino, inmediatamente mi cabeza piensa en la variedad Syrah. Aunque hay otros vinos que también la utilizan, mi cabeza está pensando ya en esa denominación.
So yes, we have our senses, but if we don't have the theory to back it up, then we can be a little lost.
Por supuesto, contamos con nuestro sentido del olfato y nuestros otros sentidos, pero si no tenemos un profundo conocimiento teórico para soportar esa intuición, probablemente nos equivoquemos.
And also sometimes we read in books or on website, or you hear a journalist or a sommelier with specific markers, like Sauvignon Blanc smells like bell pepper and lemon, let's say. But we have to create our own vocabulary.
Por ejemplo, hay muchos manuales y muchos libros que definen que el Cabernet tiene que tener aroma de limón, pero el sommelier debe de crear su propio vocabulario.
And so we each have our own references. And what's also really interesting is that meeting people from all over the world, for instance, like in Quebec, we have lots of apple. In some other countries, they might have less apple, so they won't associate the apple aroma to a specific wine. Or they might have more exotic fruits, or a different type of cuisine, or different types of flowers. So depending where we are from, we have different vocabulary, and we have to, like I said, create our own little dictionary.
Dependiendo del punto del mundo de donde sea el sommelier, va a tener su propio vocabulario. Por ejemplo, en Quebec tenemos muchas manzanas y es un elemento que suele aparecer en el vocabulario de los sommeliers quebequeses.
And what I would recommend for everybody to become a better taster is go back to the food and the ingredients and what is surrounding us. Because just for citrus, for instance, lime, lemon, oranges, grapefruit, are really, really different, all part of the citrus family, but some grapes will really smell like lime and other will really smell like grapefruit. So I recommend just to go at the grocery store, buy the 4, scratch the skin, and it gives you then great tools to identify some wines.
Lo que recomendaría para todo aquel que quiere mejorar en sus capacidades de cata es que se fije muy bien en la comida y los elementos que tiene a su alrededor. Es una gran manera de aprender.
Because I'm not a better natural taster, my nose is not better than anybody else's, just I spend a little bit more time of smelling things and identifying them.
No es que mi nariz sea mejor que la de cualquiera, es simplemente que he pasado más tiempo dedicado a oler cosas e identificar esos olores.
And I believe kids are so good at smelling things, identifying things, but when we grow up, I think we practice a little less because we don't need, for instance, in general at the grocery store, the food is fresh. We don't have the same survival instinct of, oh, it's a bad meat, it's a bad fish, whatsoever. So I think we lost a little bit we didn't lose the sense, but we stopped training it.
Los niños pequeños son estupendos a la hora de identificar olores, pero una vez que nos vamos haciendo más adultos, perdemos no el sentido del olfato, sino que hemos dejado de entrenarlo para detectar ciertos olores.
And to me, well, not to me, the olfactive memory is one of the strongest. You know, sometimes you go back to, I don't know, your parents' house, all of a sudden you remember all of those things. You can smell the food or the clothes or the perfume whatsoever. And what I love about wine is that when I smell, let's say, manzanilla from Andalusia, all of a sudden it transports me to Andalusia with some olives, with some cheese, with some jamón, and it is a really, really strong sense.
El sentido del olfato quizá es el más potente para mí. Cuando volvemos a casa de nuestros padres, aunque no estemos cocinando, podemos oler la comida de nuestra madre, su perfume. Por ejemplo, si huelo un manzanilla en cualquier punto del mundo, inmediatamente me traslada a Andalucía, veo aceitunas, veo queso, veo jamón.
And so, to me, this is the nicest part about wine in general, especially the wines that really reflect where they're from and how it's made. It can really make us travel in just a quick second.
Para mí esta es una de las partes más bonitas del vino, especialmente de aquel vino que realmente refleja en su aroma y en sus sabores la parte del mundo de donde proviene.
And yes.
¿Alguna
I think
pregunta
that-
más?
Please. Ya está. Well, thank you so much again for being here. Thank you for my great introducer.
Gracias.
Reserve your space at the 2027 fair.